So Twitch just banned my man Tectone. Don't know what happened. Didn't really look into it. I just kind of waiting for everybody to start talking about it. And it's probably some stupid bullshit. Something that, you know, totally was not a bannable offense. At least compared to all the shit that they don't ban people for. Alright, let's see what more Pegasus has to say about it.
Welcome back to the most dastardly series ever created. In today's video, streamer Tectone has just been banned on Twitch, and the hypocrisy and double standards are insane.
Honestly, I think this is a good thing. I think it's a good thing that a bunch of people that I like are getting banned off of Twitch. Because that means they're finally leaving. They're getting off of that garbage platform. I don't even like Kick, but I acknowledge that Kick is 1,000 times better. Promoting gambling is way better than promoting terrorism.
Asmongold has also responded. We're going to be checking everything out, see the people's reactions. Alrighty, subscribe or you gotta lick Dan Clancy's gooning phone. And let's begin.
That was fucking gross. Come on, man. Don't put that in my brain. I had to hear that with my ears, see that with my eyes.
With Tectone explaining the history of his bans on Twitch that led up to this one.
I have been banned for the third time in about 60 days. This one looks like it's going to be my longest ban yet. Yes, it looks like I will be banned for 7 long days on Twitch.
That's a lot of days to be banned. I don't even know how long I got banned on Twitch. I got banned on Twitch and I just didn't go back. I just banned myself from Twitch.
They let me appeal it. I don't know. The first time I ever got banned was me saying that Denim's only good content was on her OnlyFans and nobody should consider her worth listening to. Which, you know,
I don't like Pokimane, but Denim is literally Pokimane, but worse. And that's crazy, because Pokimane's terrible.
to be honest, it was a little bit mean, but where's the lie?
Now, you can say a lot about Tectone. He's a little bit crude, but he's speaking facts here. Denims, if you didn't know, is the girl who routinely slanders people, indirectly led to the CPS call on Ethan's kids by spreading the lies about him.
They contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia.
Thinks that kids don't have memories at 3 years old, so it's okay for them to have trauma.
Age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old. You're not really forming memories at 3.
What a fucking liar, dude.
Denies Hamas committing any grapes at all, but will also act like a feminist. In fact, Denims is so fucking stupid, we probably need to come up with a whole new scale. She probably holds the Guinness World Record for world's biggest dumbass.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I watched some people yesterday at the thrift shop looking at spoons. Trying to find the best spoon, the shiniest spoon. That's pretty fucking stupid.
Then he talks about another ban he had. This one was definitely fair.
Telling a Twitch chat to themselves. Which, to be completely honest, that was completely justified. I was reacting to anime. I told them to put a shotgun in their mouth and kill themselves. And to be fair, totally reasonable. I absolutely wear that wear that ban as a badge of dishonor because I went over the deep end that day.
I mean, you know, I wouldn't have said it like that. Should have framed it in a more funny way. I know, I mean, disavow, I don't condone telling people to Kurt Cobain themselves.
I was very grumpy, to be fair, and I had a really big tummy ache too, but I have not ever told a chatter to kill themselves since then. I have learned from my mistake.
Tummy ache is kind of brutal, not gonna lie, but yeah, fair enough. You know, you can definitely get banned for that, going around telling people to neck themselves. That's a tad bit rude, I'd say. Anyways, his next ban was the infamous
Dude, we got so many ways to say that.
Froggen ban, where he called her volumetrically optimized.
Now, the next time I got banned was me calling everybody's favorite streamer, Froggen, fat. Now, I want to remind...
Well, wait, what? I think he called her a fat bitch. Did he not? Well, if he didn't, then I'm calling her a fat bitch right now.
Remind you that Froggen is roughly 5'2" and roughly 300 pounds.
Wait, 5'2" tall or 5'2" across?
So I got banned for a descriptor. I called Froggen fat. I get banned for 2 weeks. It gets appealed down to 2 days and 18 hours, roughly. And by the way, this is after her saying that all American soldiers deserve PTSD, and as well as America deserved 9/11.
Well, she deserves to be called Gravitationally gifted? I don't know.
Yes. Oh, by the way, she didn't get banned for that.
Classic Twitch with their wonderful and very fair enforcement of TOS. By the way, the fat thing is very interesting because what if someone is like really proud of being fat and then you call them fat as a compliment? Like, surely you can't get banned for that, right? Because like fat is an actual description. It's a bit different from calling someone like Giganormous Rex. But anyways, fair enough. If it's mean-spirited, okay, whatever, that makes sense. But also, then you gotta ban her for wishing US soldiers get PTSD.
U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
That's literally in the Twitch TOS. It's one of their specific rules for the veterans. Then he finally talks about this ban, and it involves him insulting two streamers named Denims and Minx. Now, it turns out he actually has a long history with these two people, and he was retaliating against them for their insane history of false accusations against him.
Yeah, of course they'd be lying about people doing false accusations and whatnot. 'Cause they're fucking insane.
Let's talk about why I got banned this time. Well, it's actually due to two streamers, not one but two. And this is great. So, here it is, 7-day suspension for sexual requests, graphic or derogatory sexual statements, or unwanted sexual content. There are two streamers.
That sounds terrible. Why would you do that, Tectone? Of course you get banned for all of those things.
Who have been really talking about me for months. Actually, what's crazy is talking about me for years. So this is a whole clip of Denims mocking my trauma about worrying about my father when I told a story about how when he was deployed, he got his legs, the skin of his legs completely blown off, as well as his ear cut off in the war, and her laughing in my face and saying that he deserved it and that I probably made up the entire story.
Of course she doesn't believe this story, but will believe any.
Well, you see, okay. Yeah, that... I agree what she says is fucked up. That she reacted in a fucked up way. But you know, she's allowed to do that. And she's a very shitty person, but I will acknowledge that I think that's kind of funny. From the outside looking in, not what happened to his dad, just this whole situation.
Anybody who accuses Tectone. I'll tell you Denim's mode of operation. Anyone I agree with, I gotta support unconditionally. Anyone I disagree with is basically not human, and I can say and do whatever I want. Like, listening to this person, she legitimately, like, lacks any semblance of humanity. Then he talks about how she called him a predator.
Here's the second one. This is Denims calling me a sexual predator.
Oh, she's probably projecting. She's probably like banging 10 dudes a week.
On Kick, very fun. To a total of time of recording, 47,000 people. But if we go further, it actually reached 1 million people. And trust me, Denims and I have a very shady history because I don't know why. This woman is absolutely obsessed with me. Now, here is Denims once again calling me a and saying I can't sue her because it's not defamation, because in her words, I did that shit.
The reason Tectone can't sue me is because he did that shit.
That she is now at the point where she knows that she might need lawyers in the very near future for slandering my name.
Yeah, right now, I think Tectone is just like, I don't want to deal with this shit. This is fucking ridiculous. But she won't stop. And now he got banned. So, I think she's on thin ice with him.
And defaming me on a daily basis.
I mean, she's gonna need a whole lot of lawyers for that one. Denim slandering people is just another Tuesday for her.
Dude, yeah, and I could... Okay, nice picture. I can see H3H3 getting on board with this whole situation against Denims. And be like, you know what? She slandered us too. Unless there was already legal action being taken.
Bro, her Ashton Hall morning routine is like before taking a shit or brushing her teeth, she goes to her mirror on the wall and is like, who the f do I slander today? Dude, I just think
that was quite a line.
It's crazy that you can call someone a rapist without evidence and still have a career and in fact not go to prison. She literally said he did that shit. I just don't understand how you can speak with such confidence when you clearly...
Well, she's not gonna go to prison. But she's definitely probably gonna have to pay Tectone some money for damages.
know absolutely nothing of what happened. I understand if there is some, you know, footage on the internet that proves something, or there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, there's a lot of
No, she just fucking made it up. Right off the top of her dome. Probably the only thing that was in there at that moment, so it had to just come out. And of course, she's got her tatas hanging out.
corroborating story, stuff like that, but from what I've seen, that is just not the case. The default should always be innocent until proven guilty. I feel like this shit is life ruining. Like, you actually just need to go to prison if you make up these accusations.
And the other woman, Minx, known alcoholic, known drug abuser, known schizo, goes live on Twitter and says, reminder, Tectone's dad is a rapist, and that I also have sexually assaulted 2 women, according to her.
So I don't know much about Minx, except that she's somewhat of a psycho whenever she's like drunk and
Yeah, and that's why people love her. That's why she makes money, because she's that psychotic bitch that every dude wants to be with, you know, because they're fucking retarded.
every streamer sort of like hates her for ruining events and shit. But yeah, I highly doubt these people actually.
She looks like garbage. She looks like actual trash. And that's why people love her. There's just like this weird thing that dudes have in them. And they're not good looking dudes. It's like dudes like me.
Care about the victims or the crime that's being committed or something like that, because they have no problem denying grapes from like terrorist organizations or shit like that, at least Denims in this case, and those have like video evidence and corroborating like UN reports and shit, like actual evidence and shit. So I feel like they only pick and choose based on who they don't like. And even if, suppose you made a mistake here, you tweeted this out and you were like misled by a bunch of your friends believing in it, the entire internet believing in it, at least make the correction after. At least make sure that you're at least doing it in good faith and you're not doing it to get some random points on Twitter, right? Then he talks about how he never lived with Minx at all, and this was confirmed by Asmongold as well.
This woman is so deranged, she believes that she's lived with me. I want to remind you, I've met Minx one time at the OTK Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving.
Doesn't this dude have like a wife? Why would he be living with another chick if he's got a wife? And he's had a wife for a long time. Well, his girlfriend before. Am I wrong about this?
I joined OTK. I have met her one time. Since then, I have lived with minimum a partner, a wife, or a roommate, or a girlfriend throughout my entirety of living here. Never once have I lived by myself. I have always had someone living with me the entire time I've been down in Austin. And this woman is so deranged that she thinks that I lived with her.
She doesn't think that. She's just saying shit. She's just lying. And none of her audience cares because they're just jerking their gherkin.
Now, I don't know what gorgeous bald man with a beautiful beard she must be having sex with on a daily basis in her STD-ridden pussy.
Hopefully not Vsauce. I don't think it's Vsauce.
To think that it's me. But I assure you, I have never lived with this woman. I don't even know this woman outside of a one-time interaction where there was 50 other streamers there.
I feel like if anybody close actually cared about her, they would like check her into a mental institution, bro. This is not healthy. Like every time I see a clip of her, she's lost her mind. Anyway, so this is why Tectone got banned. He basically called them hoes.
Why did Twitch deem me worthy of a 7-day ban? Because I called them whores.
Well, see, this is kind of stuff that got me banned on Twitch. It's like it's like you see a duck and they're telling you it's a chicken and you call it a duck and they're like, no, get out of here, it's a chicken. Like, these people are fucking insane.
Yep, I called 2 women with OnlyFans whores.
By definition, that's what they are.
Which is, by the way, by definition,
Yeah.
a factual statement.
True.
OnlyFans girls who are sex workers are prostitutes. Prostitutes are whores. Whores are prostitutes. Prostitutes are sex workers. I got banned for 2 weeks for calling a fat person fat. I got banned for 7 days for calling a whore a whore.
Yeah, you got banned for saying the harsh truth. You can't have that. You can't be brutally honest because you hurt people's feelings. You can't hurt people's feelings. You might as well be murdering them. You murdered them, Tectone.
All right, I'm not sure about the advanced level 99 word math he actually did there, but I do think OF girls in general have a proclivity to a certain behavior, and said behavior is often degenerate, in my opinion.
If you're having sex with dudes for money, you're a prostitute. Yeah, well, I say dudes. If with anybody.
But regardless, they are free people. They are free to do whatever they want. The problem here is obviously the insane double standards of Twitch, right? You have these two women slandering him on a regular basis, harassing him, doing way worse things. And then he turns around and calls them an ancient agricultural tool. And somehow that gets him banned, huh? I'd say they both deserve to be banned. The only thing is they should be perma-banned and probably jailed. And he needs to be banned for like a week or something.
Now, I'm sorry if that terminology upsets you, but the problem is that doesn't make it any less true. And the reality is, when I go live and I tell the truth and I get banned for 7 days, and then you have these same women where I am only calling that out of defense. I'm only calling them that out of defense because they have provoked me by accusing me of crimes that I have not committed whatsoever.
Yeah, and they don't get banned. It makes no fucking sense. Well, it does make sense. Twitch is playing favorites, and they're choosing the actual terrorism supporters over the fan favorite guy that everybody loves, Tectone. Well, every normal person.
Going in on allegations that went fucking nowhere almost a year ago now. I think it's pretty reasonable if I call them a name or two.
Yeah, I think people complaining about the name calling are missing the real point. Like, the damage done is so completely uncomparable. What they did can possibly ruin your life, turn your friends and your family and your loved ones against you, destroy your community and pretty much everything. And
Yeah, but they don't care about that because Tectone disagrees with them politically.
what he did is insult them, which is nobody's friends and families are going to turn on them because they got called a hoe in the internet. Then he talks about Hamas Diddy Piker. He makes an appearance again.
This is the same
Dude definitely watches Nux.
website where Hassan calls me a rapist, where Hassan calls Nuxtaku a pedophile, who calls Mudahar a pedophile, who calls Asmongold a pedophile.
They literally like everybody that we like. Everything that we like is bad to them. It's always bad to the people on the left. It's always bad to these weirdo woke freaks. It's like they're actually evil. Like, it's so obvious to see that these people are all just fucking evil. Everybody that is being wrong on purpose, everybody who's being against everything that normal people like on purpose is just fucking evil.
And a mother killer bringing up Asmongold's dead mother. No ban. No punishment. Mike from PA calls me a pedophile, calls Nuxtaku a pedophile, calls Asmongold a pedophile.
That's because they're friends with the people at Twitch. Because nothing actually happens to them.
Calls him a murderer. No ban. Calls for the death of Asmongold. No ban. Denims, who was also called for the death of Asmongold. No ban. Hassan, who has radicalized his audience to supporting terrorism. No ban. I call an OnlyFans girl a whore after she called me a rapist. A career-ending, life-ending accusation. They get no punishment. I get 7 days. Do we get why this is a problem now?
Well, everybody gets it, yeah, but they don't care. They're a corporation run by a fucking sexual degenerate freak. This guy. Was it Dan Clancy? Is that his name? I wonder what's on his hard drive. He looks like he's got some crazy, crazy shit on his hard drive.
Dan Clancy here. Nope, not a problem at all, Tectone. You see, you're not a woman, so I can't goon to you. Unfortunately, your bald head does not cut it. I need my feed to only be women. I've actually stockpiled 666,969.69 in my folder. And you see, Denims and Minks are women, so they fit the profile and therefore they stay unbanned. Now, if you were to somehow become a woman, then we could talk business. I might even subscribe, actually.
Could you make the argument, well, he deserved it. Sure. But Twitch, I wouldn't have to make these comments if you guys would do your fucking job. If you guys were to ban people equally.
Yeah, like, if they would have banned Tectone for a week and then banned the other people for a month, there you go. Everybody would be happy. Everybody'd be fine with that. But that's not what happened.
And fairly, when they cross the line, then I wouldn't think that I can do the same thing as the rest of these fucking people.
Twitch CEO Dan here once again. Sorry, couldn't hear you over the sounds of my ASMR roleplay girlfriend tells me I'm a very good boy stream.
Yeah, dude's got porn brain.
Sorry, Tectone. Tough luck, pal. Now, apparently, Tectone is on a mission. He's recruiting an army to start multi-streaming and basically make Twitch fall to its knees.
24 hours ago, I have already recruited over 55 streamers to stream on YouTube and Kick. It has now been 72 hours, and I have now recruited over 110 creators to stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick.
And one of them is Asmongold himself. And that is very, very bad. I don't think he switched off of Twitch yet, but I think he will. If shit keeps going like this, I think that Asmongold will end up getting banned again.
This is not a good look for you guys. This is a horrible look. You should be ashamed because you know this shit is unfair. You know this shit is bullshit. And you can't have a TOS where you do not enforce it equally amongst all creators. And this is the reason why you guys are getting f***ing sued.
Yeah, Twitch picked like the worst enemies ever, bro. Like, I feel like all of us are so petty here. Like you got Tectone, a guy who will stop at basically nothing to make Twitch regret their choices here. You got me, a guy who's making like 30 videos on people. Jesus Christ. You got Nux. You got Asmongold. We even got Ethan, who's going after our sound. He's kind of like an indirect force here. We got the entire Avengers here. And as I said years ago, I will be at the funeral of Twitch, drinking a six-pack at the gravestone.
Yep, I'll be there too. Laughing my ass off. Congratulations, you played yourself. And we all saw it coming. We all said, hey, you need to stop doing this. You're killing yourself. You know, it's like that friend that you had your whole life. They get really bad into heroin. And then they die, and then you're like, almost feel relieved. Because they're not going through that pain anymore, and they're not a burden on your family and yourself and others. That's what is happening with Twitch right now. We're waiting for it to die so we can feel that relief. Be like, finally, it can rest and not feel pain anymore.
Now he talks about the Twitch lawsuit.
And now you guys know that these people in a court of law can use me as an example of you guys unfairly, once again, misusing your TOS. I call these women a name as an insult when they are giving me life-ending, career-threatening allegations and accusations. This is the reason why so many male creators have disappeared over false allegations. You guys need to take this shit seriously. It's pathetic, and you guys should be ashamed.
Dan watching this under Hassan's table. Hassan, what do I do? He keeps calling me out.
I don't think Dan has anything to do with it. I think there's like a team of weirdos that actually runs Twitch, and Dan is just focused on all the weird sexual stuff. He's obsessed with women.
The entire world is turning on me. Extra Emily won't hang out with me anymore. Shut up and keep sucking my piker. Okay, King. Oh my god, I am talented. I need to be hired for something, bro. Some movie role or something. Anyways, Asmongold.
How is it that like all these garbage streamers ended up being so famous and so rich from streaming? I don't understand. They just garner an audience full of stupid people.
Has responded defending Tectone.
Tectone can't sue me is because he did that shit.
Here's what's so stupid about this is that if she's calling him a rapist and a sex pest, even if it is true, she doesn't know that. She has no information on that. She has no insight into this. She doesn't have any fucking idea. She's just saying this randomly.
Denims needs to be studied. Scientists could probably find the fucking stupid gene from her, the specific chromosome that makes you brain dead. Denim's gotta have like 50 of those. Dude, she is so insufferable, man. She is legitimately like the female Hassan. It's crazy how she sits there on her privileged ass spouting like these bullshit lies and constantly just dupes her community.
I think she's probably worse than Hassan. She's so dumb that nobody even really cares to cover her. Only when she does something actually incredibly stupid. But she says dumb stuff all the time. Way dumber stuff than Hassan, but it's so dumb that like everybody kind of knows it's dumb and they're just watching her because she's pretty.
I can't even believe they raised like 1/3 of that shitty lawsuit she was planning to do. Then Aspen talks about Minx and why Tectone might have a vendetta against her.
During this event, Minx decided to start drinking. But I think that she would agree with me when I say that her and alcohol probably don't go very well. And so she was wilding out, going crazy at this live stream. She
Yeah, but Tectone's the problem.
was going ape shit on this live stream. She was on the floor, and then Milena was giving her more drinks as well. S-Fan gets really upset about this, and he gets mad, and then he makes a scene out of it, which, to be fair, S-Fan was right. It was insane that it was happening. And basically, Minx, I'm just going to say it, Minx ruined Tectone's announcement video. She did, because at the end of it, on fucking LSF, the only thread that was there wasn't even about Tectone. It was about Minx getting drunk as fuck at the event. This was an instrumental domino in us losing our sponsorship with Chipotle. We had a Chipotle sponsorship and we lost it, and this was one of the reasons why.
What the fuck? What a bitch! Dude, that would have been huge for the streaming community to have Chipotle be a sponsor. Are you kidding? And this bitch fucking ruined it? That would have been so good.
Who was there and got an anime tattoo to feel better after sexually assaulting and degrading his past two partners. That's a very big accusation. That's...
What the fuck does that have anything to do with anything? Got an anime tattoo to feel better about essaying and degrade. What do those things have to do with each other? It's fucking insane.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot to say, isn't it? Yeah, Tectone, as far as I know, never lived with Minx.
Okay, there's a lot of untapped lore regarding Minx, but I don't really think it changes much, even if Tectone has some sort of...
Minx is a fucking moron and she's insane. Everybody knows it. Like, that one's a non-issue to me. And probably to most people.
Vendetta against her or whatever. She still wronged him by saying that stuff on Twitter, and she shouldn't have said that, and he's justifiably angry about it. Then he talks about how the context of retaliation changes quite a lot.
I called 2 women with OnlyFans whores, which
I think that if he did this without it being without them attacking him, I would support Twitch banning him and say that it was fair. But these are 2 people who have antagonized Tectone and made claims and insults about him multiple times. And I think at that point, if you enter into the arena of insults and attacks, you need to expect to get it back. So it's like if somebody's talking shit and then you...
It's literally like a 3-year-old. Like, if you watch 2 3-year-olds, one 3-year-old insult one 3-year-old, and the other one insult back, and the original insulter starts crying and goes and tattles. It's literally what's fucking happening. That's what happened.
Talk shit back. Yes, they have flagged for PvP. How is Tectone getting a dishonorable kill when they were the ones that flagged for PvP in the first place? It's not fair. It's bullshit.
I got banned for 7 days for calling a whore a whore.
I don't even think that that's the point. I mean, if they want to, even if you want to say that it's degrading for him to say that,
He shouldn't have been banned for it at all. Honestly, I think he should have been boosted in the algorithm for saying it.
they both should have gotten banned. There is a...
Nah. I mean, sure. If you want to be equal, I think that they should have gotten banned and Tectone should not have been.
world where one person gets banned. There's a world where neither of them get banned, and there's a world where both of them get banned. But there should not be a world where one of them gets banned.
No, I think what they said was way fucking worse, and they started it. And calling a couple of chicks fat whores, you know, that's no big deal. We're all adults here. Grow the fuck up.
That's outrageous. It's the double standards.
Twitch CEO Dan Clancy here. Did somebody say the fair application of rules? My bad, guys. I was busy watching the latest Amaranth stream. Have you guys checked that out? Really good content, if you ask me. I heard her and her husband are going through a beef. Maybe I have a chance. Comment below. You got this, Dan.
Let's just ask the question, right? What's worse, calling somebody a whore, or calling somebody a rapist? Everybody knows it's a rapist. That's obviously the worst one. It's the worst by 1,000,000 times. It's not even remotely close. It's defamation. It's complete.
On top of all of the other things that they've said.
Indefensible, right? And so, yes, absolutely. And so, like, there's this, again, it's a massive inversion of logic here. Total inversion of logic.
It's pathetic.
Yeah, calling somebody a rapist is just, you shouldn't be able to do that on Twitch without any evidence or anything like that.
Dude, what I find so interesting is that you'll see all these people on Twitter just pretend to be so offended, like, oh, you called me a hoe. That's so misogynistic and derogatory. Oh, you called me fat. That's fat phobic. But it's like you leave out the context of what happened before that, which is like way worse and life ruining. It's all just virtue signaling and nonsense.
Do the girls say that on stream or just Twitter? Twitch has a rule on off-platform behavior. And what that means is that if you harass another creator or you say something off-platform, you can still be held accountable for it on the platform. So it shouldn't matter, and it doesn't matter whether they said it on Twitch or on Twitter. They still said it. And this was a policy that they implemented about 5 years ago.
Dude, who is out here playing defense for these pieces of shit? My God. Is that Dan Clancy in the chat again? Brother, you gotta stop the goat. Then he talks about the downfall of Twitch.
There is very obviously a two-tier system on Twitch where certain people are held accountable for their behavior and other people are not.
Yep. If you're directly friends with the people who run Twitch, you're safe.
This will cost Twitch a lot in the long run, and it will make people not trust Twitch's moderation, and it will make people want to go to different platforms because they don't trust that Twitch will treat them fairly.
Yep. Welcome to Kick, everybody. I'm not on Kick. Everybody's moving to Kick.
And I have now recruited over 110 creators to stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick.
He's building Dumbledore's army. Bro, it's over for Twitch. It's fucking over.
I think the craziness has just begun, though. Because as they spiral down the drain, they're flailing their arms and grabbing hold of everybody around them and pulling them down to try and save themselves. And it's just making everything spiral down faster. Everybody's drowning faster. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it. Except point and laugh. Because we told them, don't go near that whirlpool.
Goodbye Twitch and good riddance. Holy shit, nobody likes your platform. I tried to click on it about 50 times and instantly clicked off because of your goddamn ads. Horrible website, can't even rewind. I think you gotta like pay or some shit for that now. Not too sure, but what a joke. And as always, as I predicted, I was right like 5 years ago when I said Twitch was gonna die, and here we are. Anyways, here's what people are saying. Donut Operator says, makes me want to get on Twitch for one last stream to tell them how I feel. They're not even trying to beat the Adolf Piker level accusations anymore. Crazy to think loving a terrorist and supporting terrorism to thousands of people seems nothing by Twitch despite being against TOS, but calling a ho is a weak ban cack. We got my boy Sens here. You guys going over to Kick and YouTube was the best idea. Twitch is never beating the allegations. Denims is just foul. I watched one of her videos on YouTube, but I couldn't even make it through the first 10 minutes. Tectone should definitely sue her. Happy Men's Mental Health Month. Rare. I've actually never heard that said in my entire life. Maybe like once before or something.
Yeah, it's definitely a joke, too. That guy saw it on Twitter and he's like, hey, it's a Men's Health Month. Pride's dead. Men.
But yeah, guys, take care of your mental health. Very important. Anyone else miss the days where Twitch was about gaming? Now click this video or you gotta watch it.
I remember when it was like only gaming. And Wan Show was having a hard time getting on Twitch because it was a gaming platform and they weren't really doing a gaming show, but then they got on because they were like, it's kind of gaming related because it's technology about like computers and stuff that you game on. See, I remember all those. I remember those days. Different times, man.
Denims for the rest of your life, every single day for breakfast. No more Pegasus videos, only denims. All right, bye-bye.
Yep. I thought like 6 years ago that they had 10 years left. So what, we got 4 years? We got 4 years left of Twitch, and it's gonna be going downhill for these next 4 years, I think, until they finally get sold off or they just completely crumble apart and die. Buy a t-shirt down there in the description. I'm out.